Okay, so I'm Hangyu from Tourandscape, and it's really a great pleasure to come here and share with you so our team's experience in nature-based solutions and the sponge city. And also since my spoken English is not didn't doesn't reach the native speaker's level, so please allow me to look at my notes sometimes during the lecture, and thank you so much for your understanding. Okay, so yeah, let's start. So Tourandscape is a design group founded by Professor Kong Jianyu in 1998 and based in Beijing, and practiced globally. Like for more than 25 years, our team focused on an alternative way to deal with water-related problems in China and abroad. That is nature-based solutions, sponge city, and holistic solutions inspired by Asian wisdom. So I will start with the largest scale project we've ever done. So the Chinese National Ecological Security Pattern Planning. It was commissioned by the Chinese Ministry of Environmental Protection in 2006, over about 20 years ago. So this is the first time for China to study where to protect, where need ecological restoration, and where to have urban development at a national scale. So our research encompassed all aspects of China's ecological challenges, include the flood regulation, water conservation, biodiversity protection, geological disaster prevention, cultural heritage protection, and even the site selection for new urban districts. So this research promote China's delineation of the ecological conservation red lines. And also in this research, we found less than 7% of the national land area is facing the risk of flood, but this portion of the land contains 70% of China's GDP and population. So that means we Chinese have been living with and managing water for thousands of years. Actually, our ancestors has lots of wisdom of adapting water. Let's look like these typical small villages in southern China. It is actually Professor Kong Jianyu's hometown, like a small, a typical village in southern China, which has a great influence on his design philosophy. So you can see people living in harmony with water and draw water from the river by building this kind of weirs. Also, the water is controlled and distributed into the farmland for irrigation, and also the land become productive. When monsoon comes, even fish from the river can jump over the weir into the rice paddies. Also, the water for drinking and daily use come from the well. So you can see it's very clear that upstream is for drinking first, and then for daily use, washing vegetables, and then for irrigation. It's a very smart way. Also, when monsoon comes, so flood passes through the meandering river and the floodplain. The vegetation in the river reduce the flow speed and can even save people who fell into the river. This helps the village keep safe. And all of this rely on a system, a sponge system, that the farmers use very low-tech and simple tools to cultivate, to manage water. It's like this kind of pond and dike system. So you can see from this image, and then the land, the country become productive and safe. However, when urbanization comes, we channelize the river to grab land for development, but we forgot things we did for hundreds and thousands of years, forgot those nature-based solutions. So you can see how Professor Yu's hometown was transformed from this natural form of the river to this channelized canal. So this is 1960s and 2000 and today. So that makes the river lose its resilience. And also we spend billions of dollars doing this, channelizing the river, building dams, and trying to protect the village and cities being flooded. But actually, the flood only become more serious. Why? Because we enforce and we accumulate the disaster, the destructive force of nature and destructive force of water. That is what we have experienced in China like 20 years ago. Due to the climate change, the whole world now facing more and more severe challenges like flood, drought, pollution, and habitat loss. Conventional solutions are single-minded. Of course, they can be effective in short terms, but in long term, they literally destroy the natural system. But have we solved the problem yet? Certainly not. So you can see in 2012, 79 people was killed due to this urban flood in Beijing, our capital city. And not only in Beijing, so you can see the similar things happened in Libya and Brazil and even like Saudi Arabia, which part you think will never have this event, but it do happen. The conventional solutions are failed and will continue to fail. And if you build higher dam, you will have more carbon emission. So according to the research, 8% of the carbon emission come from this cement. So you can imagine like how much carbon emission could happen if developing countries are going to build the same number of concrete dams as China or as United States. And according to another research, like 40% of the sea level rise is actually caused by the depletion of the groundwater and also the drop of the aquifer. So this water should have been held under the ground, not in the sea. But actually, we drain all the water into the sea, pump out groundwater for irrigation. Many people talk about the melting of the glacier, but almost no one talks about the groundwater. Actually, if we can control, maintain, and the water on the ground, on the land, we can actually solve about half of the problem. Therefore, we have to find an alternative, a solution to make use of water, solve the problem holistically. So it comes to the nature-based solution, ecological infrastructure, not the concrete nor the gray infrastructure. Of course, the gray infrastructure can solve immediate problem for short term, but in long term, we have to consider the nature-based solution. And for this, water is the key. So a city built on water-centered ecological infrastructure is what we call a sponge city. And such an ecological infrastructure must be built beyond the boundary of the city. We also need sponge catchment, sponge farm, and ultimately even the sponge planet. So you can think about the upstream and these terraces and these slopes, farms, and then you will have the city and the coastal front. So this systematical solution build a resilient city, a resilient territory, a resilient nation. So its key philosophy is to retain water at the source. So whenever the water falls, you should keep it, and then to slow down its flow. Don't channelize it and flash away like a toilet. And be adaptive, embrace the water at the end of the watershed instead of building a wall. So this kind of philosophy is totally opposite to the conventional solution of gray infrastructure. And actually, the inspiration just come from our monsoon culture. When you look at like for 2,000 years, how the Chinese build its territory like that. For rice paddies, imagine like hundreds of thousands of rice paddy on the slope to catch like thousands of millimeter rainfall like that. A very simple tool, not so complicated. And in the delta area, so where the flood merge, you will have a similar strategy. this pond and deck system is productive, diverse, and beautiful at the same time. And then we develop and upgrade this traditional Asian wisdom into a replicable design and engineering modules with scientific method and proof, and apply them to modern ecological engineering to retain water, make the water more productive, more diverse and beautiful. Actually, that doesn't cost much, such as terracing, wearing, diking, and ponding, and islanding. These are all from Asian wisdom and Asian knowledge, and not limited to monsoon areas, but can be applied all over the world. So for the past 25 years, we have built more than 1,000 projects in more than 200 cities. So most of them are proved to be very successful, and certainly they didn't solve all the problem, but I can show you what can be done and cannot. So all of these projects share a common feature, that is, they are always holistically and systematically designed to provide multiple kinds of ecosystem services for native species, for people, and also the planet as a whole. And this kind of infrastructure must be planned across scales, from national territory all the way to the community garden. So multiple scales. So that must be dealt like systematically. For example, so this is the sponge city planning we did for Guangzhou City. It's 7,000 square kilometers. So we identified the space that can retain waters at the upstream, slow down the water during the flow, and we keep all the creeks, all the rivers, all the streams to slow down the water. And at the end, where usually the city was built, we need to find solutions to adapt to the flood and drought. And then at this local scale, certainly you need to plan in advance to show where the water will accumulate, where the water will flow. Then you can avoid all kinds of water-related disaster. So that is our project in the new urban district of Guangzhou City. So from this rendering image, you can see the sponge and landscape system must be integrated with urban planning. So we build this the integration of blue and green to form an ecological infrastructure. And then at the set scale, so we built a constructed project for this green corridor. So you can see how it was built, like very beautiful. So people love it, bird comes to the city, the temperature get cooler, and certainly the water can get purified. And then I will show you some examples that reflect the key philosophy of the nature-based smart city. So the first principle is to retain the water at the source. So this project is located in Sanya City in southern China. So first we did this the urban scale smart city master plan and identify this space where the urban flood happened every year, and the project is right in the middle of the city called Dong'an Wetland Park. So our solution was quite simple. So we terraced the slope, pounding the ground, and islanding the water. So just in 1 year, so this is a construction process, we transformed this flooded area to a very beautiful urban park. So you can see right in the middle of the city, we create a sponge that can not only regulate water, but also serve as a beautiful park, and also habitat for birds and other species, so people enjoy it. And for this boardwalk, like in normal seasons, it's for people, and maybe like in the rain seasons, for a week or a month, it can be flooded like this. So that makes the park like a resilient park, and it can contain more than 1 million cubic meters of water. So this is image in 2024. So the flood comes, so you can see when the historical flood comes, the park still works very well, and people can still use it through this continuous skywalk system. So this is also a comparison of the before and after. So like in 10 years ago, it's like an abandoned land and also a flooded land. And now, like today, so it becomes a vibrant urban public space. And also, so this is the flooded area in like 10 years ago. And after the park was built, so you can see, so the flooded area decreased like significantly. And also you can see the park work as a catalyzer for the urban development. Now this area is working as the new CBD area of the city. So here comes another case. So not just in China, so we can have a similar case everywhere. Here is the Banjakiti Forest Park in the Bangkok, Thailand. And we did this project during the COVID-19 pandemic. And it's also right in the middle of the city. Used to be a cigarette factory. So the Bangkok government want to remove it and build a park for the citizens of Bangkok, and also as a gift for the Queen Mother's birthday. Also, they want to solve the problem of urban flood, of course. So what we did is a very simple solution. It can be created by even one excavator very fast and only in 1 year. So you can build it. This is the construction process, and that is today. So as soon as it's open, it becomes the most popular park in Bangkok. Here are some of our major concepts. First, we remove all the concrete hard surface of the ground and then use the simple cut and fill technique to keep the budget low and also balance the soil and create a sponge, an urban reservoir with hundreds of small islands. Then, and also these small islands can purify the contaminated water from canal in the north and let water come into the park. Then we integrate green and blue together to create an urban jungle for biodiversity. So last thing is to add a continuous pedestrian system and a multi-dimensional walking system for immersive activities in the nature. This is like a current photos. So you can see right in the middle of the city, the CBD with diversity of space and a place for people. So all the existing trees are reserved and protected on site. So most of the activities take place under the canopy, so which mitigate the urban heat island effect a lot. And also, as I mentioned, these simple solutions keep the budget at a very low level. So the construction cost is only less than $20 per square meter. It's very low, and less than a quarter compared to a normal park. And certainly it becomes the catalyst for urban development, and the property value increased dramatically. Pre-existing truck road to this pedestrian road with sponge city facilities such as bioretention pond, and also for the previous warehouse, be transformed into the public space and also integrated with nature, working as like a sports field or a stadium. The water must be purified, so the polluted water nearby you can see from the north, it's a very polluted canal. So the water from the canal is purified by our wetland system. So it's purified by our nature-based wetland system and has proved to be effective through the continuous monitoring of local environmental groups. So they have this data shows that the water purification effect is very well. park become like a rich biodiversity area for birds. So according to the statistics, like since the opening of the park, 91 species of birds have been observed in the park. So it also become a very good environmental education center for children. Also, from the social media, the local people voted the park as the best park in Bangkok. Special condition because of the COVID-19, so they cannot find enough skilled workers to build the park. So, but since our solution is quite simple, so even the army can finish the construction process. So like everywhere of the park is built by this this army in just 18 months. And then not only in tropical area, so the similar solution also works in relatively dry and cold area. So this project it's in Harbin City in northern China, also near the China and Russia's boundary. The site is used to be a natural wetland under degradation and invaded by the urban construction activity. So through our design, the park serves as a core green sponge for the new urban district. Also through this simple cut and fill technology, we create an outer ring of the mounds and ponds, acting as the buffer zone of the nature and urban, and also filtrating the stormwater and purification it. And also public space and multi-dimensional pedestrian system are integrated in this buffer loop, leave the core wetland as a natural habitat for animals. So you can see a very simple way to create this birch tree mound, like even an excavator can make it. So you can see the before and after comparison. So the wetland was restored only in 3 years. The new urban district booms around the park. This is in, and it also become a vibrant and recreational public area for local residents. In dry seasons, this pond can still work like a public sunken green area for multiple activities. Also, the use of the native vegetation and local materials bring a strong sense of local identity. Even in the winter, the park's landscape remain beautiful and rich. So then the second principle is to slow down the flow. So this project showcases the nature-based flood management infrastructure located in Jinhua City, Professor Yu's hometown. So you can see this is the before condition, and this is the after condition. So the local authority wants to make the city safer. The conventional solution is to build higher and higher flood wall. But now our solution is simple opposite. So we remove the existing flood wall, set it back, and let water come in, forming a beautiful park that is resilient to multiple levels of flood. So this left image is a 20-year flood. So the right one is 100-year flood. So you can see the park can be flooded, but the city is still safe. And certainly, the park become more beautiful. The riverbank was transformed from concrete to a meandered, terraced green belt that can breathe the nature, slow down the flow, and also provide entertainment. As increasingly frequent extreme climate disasters so challenge the conventional green infrastructure, large-scale green infrastructure and nature-based solutions are proved to be more effective alternatives. So this case is in Zhengzhou City in the central part of China. So a water-stressed region with average annual rainfall of just 600 millimeter. But 4 years ago in 2021, so more than 300 people was killed in a historical heavy rain. So the rain dumped over 500 millimeter within 24 hours. So almost the whole year's rainfall in just one rain. So even no great infrastructure could withstand such an extreme disaster. So you can see after the disaster. So this is the images. Almost the whole city was destroyed. And our solution to restore and to rebuild the city is to build a watershed-scale green sponge, nature-based solution framework to rebuild ecological resilience. It's not just conventional river restoration. We implement holistic watershed planning with sponge valleys, sponge farmland, and also sponge forests. So first, we integrate the farmland and forest to establish this decentralized and distributed retention wetland system at the source of the watershed. Then, under extreme conditions, 10% of the land can be enlarged to use to reduce the flood peak, slow down the flow of water throughout the entire process, rather than concentrating all the flows in channels. So using this hydrological modeling, so you can see this the hydrological module simulation. So you can see the before condition and the after conditions through our planning. So you can see So it demonstrates significantly delayed peak discharge timing and also reduced flood peak. So similarly, the modeling this sponge system's response to the historical storm event in 2021. So the results shows that the peak flows can be delayed by at least 4 hours. That means it provides a critical window for the people's retreat that can reduce the casualties. And also this system reduced the flood peak and decreased the waterlogging depth by 42%. And second, to restore this main water channel destroyed by flooding, we abandoned the conventional channelization techniques. Instead, we restore the river's corridor as a natural form by designing vegetated island and constructed wetland, slow down the flow while creating public access for waterfront engagement. So you can see this section shows that our nature-based solutions enable smarter and spatially optimized land, give water more spaces. So before the design, during flood, the local flow speed exceeded like 10 meters per second, causing instability along the river banks. But after our design, so you can see our nature-based solutions is under construction. Yeah, so this is also the hydrological modeling. Like before, so the water speed is like more than 10 meters per second. But after our design, so we significantly decreased the water speed, and also dramatically alleviating the erosion along the river banks through effective energy dissipation and flow reduction. So here comes the third principle. Not to fight against the water, we need to embrace the water. So this project in Shangrao City, you can see for this natural flood plan, we didn't build the flood wall. Instead, we integrate the flood plan, let water come in, embrace the water, and now it becomes a thriving ecological infrastructure. So this is the before condition. When the flood comes, so this park can still be resilient. So after the flood go away, it's still like a very vibrant park. Also, people can use this elevated skywalk to immerse themselves in the nature. and now it becomes the new landscape landmark for the city. So here is another coastal case in the coastal area. So you can see here after the flood wall was built, the original habitat with beautiful vegetation got destroyed like this in the below image. So that is because when you build the wall, the wave will flip over the wall and the salinity will kill the vegetation and also enforce the erosion process. So the opposite way is to create a breathing wall, like a breathing coastal line, to let the water come back to the ocean, enabling the salinity exchange. So this is the process of how this breathing wall was built. And this is the before condition, and this is after. Now it becomes a beautiful and breathing living wall, flourishing the native vegetation and enhancing human and nature interactions, also serving as an urban balcony for residents and tourists. So moreover, it also catalyzes urban development. So you can see this nature system becomes the protector of the new urban district rather than the green infrastructure. We have this brand new urban district is rising rapidly. And just in last year, a historical typhoon hit the coastal area of China. So right after the typhoon, you can see that the conventional seawall was totally destroyed, but our breathing seawall still survived the typhoon and looks still in good condition. So that is the power of the nature-based solutions. And then the fourth principle is the nature-based water cleansing. So the landscape as a living system. As we all know, the pollution is another big problem, particularly in developing countries. So 85% of the sewage globally goes into the rivers and seas without any treatment. As a solution, the nature-based constructed wetland can remove nutrients through biological process and clean the water. This project case is also in northern China. It used to be abandoned coal mine and dump area. Inspired by the terracing rice paddies, in China, we terrace the dump and develop a water purification system. So three kinds of wetland are applied. The free water surface terraces, the subsurface flow terraces, and the retention ponds integrate together. In just 1 year, we virtually create a water purification system at the same time solve the problem of urban solid waste and provide this beautiful park. And it's even becoming a learning center for environmental education. Also, this data can be used for our design. Yeah, so you can see from these statistics, so the water quality is significantly enhanced. And here comes a comprehensive case located in Hainan Island too. So you can see this shocking image of the river, like many dead fish floating on the water. So like heavily polluted. So what caused that? It resulted from the concrete flood wall that controls the river system. Like with people dredging the river, paving the riverbed, dumping trash, and also resulted from the untreated stormwater runoff. This altogether almost totally killed the river ecosystem. To save the river, we removed the concrete, terracing the ground, and introducing the idea of sponge to create a sponge corridor. And it just took 1 year to finish the construction and 3 years for the ecology to get mature. So the whole Green River get transformed. And also we applied a similar combination of constructed wetland system and get a very nice water purification result. So due to the statistics, 85% of the nutrient can be removed, and habitat get recovered by recycling the concrete to create this island for birds to inhabit. Also, people gather to enjoy the urban nature. Moreover, Sponge City is not only for floods, it's about the nature-based regulation of hydroecological process. In arid areas like northern China and also here in Almaty, we have many seasonal tributaries and ditches that are channelized and covered with concrete and not only used for drainage. People avoid them, as I mentioned earlier, and like this one. In a town near Beijing, losing the recharge of groundwater, how to revitalize them? Our solution is to build a systematic network of nature-based infrastructure, taking advantage of the natural elevation to connect the main river channel to the tributary and restoring the natural runoff corridor to secure water recharge. Also restore the meandering nature form of the tributary to slow down the flow and give water more space for natural infiltration, recharging the groundwater, and also supporting the habitat. So you can see the before and after comparison. This is before, and this is after. And also this project is well recognized. It won the 2013 ASLA award, and also this image was chosen as the cover image of this book called Landscape Architecture. Yeah, and also another case in Beijing city. So you can see the previous condition is also like a concrete channel, and people avoid it. So our solution is to integrate the blue and the green to add this to make the concrete river like a green forest. So remove the concrete surface of the channel and restore this nature habitat. And even like during the seasons without water, it still looks very beautiful in late autumn and early winter. So people can walk into the river channel and play inside. So now it is the most popular park for the surrounding community. And another case in Xi'an city, similar condition, and we take advantage of the elevation to build this the terraced wetland and pedestrian system, transforming this concrete channel to this vibrant park. So, and finally, the sixth principle. So what individual family have to do with this kind of sponge idea? Make home green as mini sponge to start with your own home. Now this kind of building we are talking about should be a green sponge as well, like reduce energy consumption, of course, and also make the building productive. So this is just an imagination, but everyone can do something in their own home. This small apartment is Professor Kong Jianyu's apartment, so which can climb through his Sponge City technologies. The apartment can collect storm water, apply solar energy, and turning a balcony to a productive garden. So it can produce 32 kilogram of vegetables each year and collect 52 tons of storm water in a year. Also, the recycled storm water can irrigate to create a living wall for a natural air conditioner in the home and save 2,000 kW of electricity. So you can see in 3 to 4 years, so the green living wall can flourish like this. And his apartment also work as a education center for the community that everyone can contribute to heal the planet by practicing simple nature-based solution at home. We come to the last page. So more than ever, we have to rethink the way we build our cities, the way we treat water and nature, and even the way we define the civilization. A sponge city and sponge planet is a holistic and nature-based solution to harvest the nature's free services to heal our common planet and benefit there of people. That's it. Thank you so much.